Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello, listeners. You are welcome to this virtual teaching program organized by the Citywide Group of Schools. The name of the presenter is Mr. Olaniwaju Nuruddin Dele, and the topic to be presented is the first week topic in our third term 2019-2020 school calendar. The topic for the first week is called belt and chain drives. Belt and chain drives are the two major drives employed in power transmission. So they are related to power transmission because without them, power cannot be transmitted from one point to the other in any machine. That is why before we start the subtopic under this major topic, belt and chain drives, we have to introduce to us how the belt drive works and what is it related to. The belt drive is a subtopic, as I've said earlier, under power transmission, which is the process of taking power from one point, magnifying the power and converting it into useful power at the other point. There are various methods of transmitting power, of which the belt drive is one of them. And the application of this is in the grinding machine, the common grinding machine that we use at home to grind our pepper. Now let's go to the definition of the belt drive. A belt drive is basically an arrangement of two or more pulleys connected together by one or more belts made of rubber, leather, or plastic for power transmission and other purposes. Working principle of the belt drive. Majorly, the belt drive is used for transmitting power or for carrying load from one point to the other. This diagram that we can see is a typical type of belt drive, and this one is an open belt drive. We can all see it, the driving pulley which is rotating clockwise and the driven pulley which is also rotating clockwise, because the drive is an open belt drive. It's an open belt drive. That is why both pulleys are rotating in the same direction. And what causes the pulley to be able to move together with the belt is the friction that exists between the pulley and the belt. So between the grooved walls of the pulley and the belt, the friction that exists between them is what is making the both of them to rotate at the same time. The driving or driver pulley is one whose shaft is connected to the electric or fuel-powered motor of the machine, while the driven pulley is one being driven by the driving pulley and whose shaft is attached to the load side of the machine. Uses of the belt drive. Though there are many things that we can use belt drive for, but about 3 of them are listed in this lesson notes. The first one listed here is transmission of power from one point to the other. So we use belt drive to transmit power from one point to the other. Example of this is in the grinding machine. So the power is transmitted from the driving pulley to the driven pulley, which then uses the power to crush pepper or anything put into the machines. Number 2, belt drive can also be used for carrying load from one point to the other. Example of this is in the conveyor, the machine called conveyor. They use the conveyor in manufacturing factories to carry load from one point to the other. This is also applicable in bottling companies to carry bottles from one point to the other. The third use of belt drive is to change the direction of motion of a machine. When an open belt is crossed, the motion direction of the drive will be changed. So the diagram to illustrate this is what we can see here. We can see when the drive is having an open belt. So we can see that the driving pulley and the driven pulley, they are rotating in the same direction, which is clockwise. But when the belt is crossed, you can all see it. The driving pulley is rotating in clockwise direction as before, but the driven pulley is rotating in the opposite direction, which is anti-clockwise. So that is how they use belt drive to change the motion direction of a machine. Now let's go to the types of driving belts. The number one here is flat belt. Flat belt. Flat belts are majorly used in some machines like grinding machines, water pumps, and electric generators. As the name sounds, the belt is always flat in shape. Number two example of the type of driving belt is conveyor belt. These are used in manufacturing companies. For instance, mining, bottling, or edible oil companies. They are also flat but possess large surface area for carrying load from one place to the other. Number three, round belt. These are used in sewing machine. They are round in outlook. Number four is V-belt. They are used in various automobile and marine engines. 5. Polygroove belt. These are used in power machine tools such as drill press, milling, and lathe machines. Now, let's go to the advantages of the belt drives. The belt drives has a lot of advantages, but few of them are listed in this lesson note. Number one listed here is that the belt drive can be used for transmitting motion and power over long distances, unlike a chain drive. Number two, it requires no lubrication and also requires little maintenance. So when we are using the belt drive, so we are not going to lubricate it. So for anytime we want to use it, it's not going to be lubricated, and it also requires little maintenance. Number three, it is cheaper. It is cheaper than all other similar devices. Number four, it has reduced noise and vibration, unlike chain drive. You know, in chain drive, because the chain is moving over the sprocket, so that creates noise. But in the belt drive, the belt is moving over the pulley, and we have reduced noise in the belt drive compared with the chain drive. Number five is that the belt drive efficiency is sometimes as high as 95% depending on its design. Now, let's go to the disadvantages of the belt drives. Number one, low friction can easily cause slippage. When the friction between the belt and the pulley is very low, so it will not make both the pulley and the belt rotate together at the same time, and that one will be wasting a lot of energy. Number two, the belt drive, due to friction, undergoes wear and tear, which can easily cause the belt to break without notice, which doesn't exist in chain and sprocket drive. Number three, which is the last disadvantage listed here, friction in the system reduces its efficiency. So because of the friction in between the belt drive and the pulley, So we can have reduced efficiency at times. So when the friction is very low in between the belt and the pulley, so it will reduce the efficiency greatly, and that one also affects the belt drive system adversely. So with this, I hope you have grasped some of the explanation I've been making since the beginning of the notes. So I pray that Allah make it better understood than how it was delivered. Masalam.